Hello, hello, it's June Olson with Junebug Creations, independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator, coming to you live from Whitefish, Montana. And it is Thursday, therefore it is time for Thunderstruck Thursday. I kind of call it that just because, it's just something different to call it. I'm really big into the alliteration, and so I came up with the idea for Thunderstruck Thursday to kind of do the wow things, some techniques, maybe some how-tos, maybe some fun folds, things like that. Today we're going to do a technique. I'm not going to complete the card today because that would take a while, and it's my parents' 60th anniversary this year, so I'm making the card for them. So I have to think it through a little bit more, how I'm going to make sure I get the 60, whether I'm going to do the fun fold, but I'm going to do the main event today, which is the masking and using the Layers of Beauty stamp set and the masks, all right, and probably the dies too. Like I said, today we're just going to do the masking, and then next week we will finish up the card. All right, so let's switch. Here we go. Let's switch this. Now, sorry, I had already used this for something, but this is my last piece. I got to order, I got to order some grid paper because this is my last piece of grid paper. So I'm trying to use it, and I've already used up the other side. So I'm definitely going to use this. All right, so we have this paper. This is what I'm going to be stamping on. And I like to use, for masks, I like to use painter's tape. All right, so first of all, I'm going to, because this paper is not going to be moving, the masks are going to be moving. I'm going to make sure, and I'm just going to use some grid lines here. I'm going to make sure that I'm trying to decide, do I want to do corners? I'm going to make sure my paper isn't going anywhere, because if it does move, then you take the chance of your masks being off. So I'm just going to put all the corners down. And I'm going to tell you right now, I have not practiced this. I have not used this mask before. I've used plenty of other masks, but I have not used this mask before. And so we're going to give it a whirl and see what happens. And if I don't like how it turns out, then we will do it again next week. So we'll see if it's not what I want for the card. Let's put it that way. I'm sure it's going to turn out just fine, but if it's not what I'm thinking of for this card, then we'll do something else. All right, so here is the Layers of Beauty. It's got the stamp set, it's got Happy Anniversary, Grateful for You, God Bless, You Make My Heart Smile, and then it's got some little flowers, and then the big bouquet. So we're going to take this big bouquet stamp out of here. All right, and then you can see there's a leaf here, there's a little sprig here, there's another flower here, and a flower here, and then the sentiment pieces. The dies cut out the whole thing and then cut out parts of them, and that's where I'm not sure yet. Like I said, I haven't played with this stamp set, but I wanted to do the dies just to see how do they look. Are they what I'm thinking of for this card? And then we have some extra. These go with the sprigs and the extra flowers here, and then these are just some more leaves that you can add in. All right, and then here is, of course, a little tag for a sentiment piece. Pretty much only would fit God Bless. Nothing else would really fit on there, or you could just do the For You on there. So let's see how it goes and how we do this. So I'm going to lay that face down, and I'm going to use our monster block, which is block F. If you have a Stamparatus, you could totally use the Stamparatus. Now, these are not the only masks that we have. I had to check. I wasn't sure. It has been a while since I've used masks, and a lot of them have, the ones that I had sold out except for this one. We have Thankful Garden decorative masks. We have Enduring Beauty decorative masks. Those are on the last chance list for $6.95. And we have Layers of Beauty decorative masks, which are these. So this is what we're going to use. So we have 3 different masks right now, one of which is on the last chance list for $6.25. So it's on clearance essentially. and then this one and the other Enduring Beauty. So we're going to go with these. Now these masks are numbered. I don't know if you can see that here. There we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So you're going to use them in that order to get your full picture. All right, and so I was trying to decide if I wanted to stamp. Let's see. If I wanted to stamp, oh, it's going to go this way. If I wanted to stamp, there we go. So we're going to stamp because I would like the outline, the black outline. All right, so we're going to use this. And we're using the Memento black ink because I like the outline. I'm an outline girl. I like the outline. When I used to color with crayons, I always drew around the black lines first and then colored everything in. I like outlining. Hi, Missy. Great to see you on here. All right. Looks like this one might need to be re-inked. Looks like it's getting dry. It is summer here now, or summery weather, and we did have a kind of dryish winter. So we're going to do it this way. I hope that didn't just move. We'll see when I pick it up. All right, you want to make sure to do a smooth, full thing. Yeah, did I smudge it? No, yep. I don't like how that looks. So we're going to pull this off and we're going to flip it over because I don't care for how that looks with the extra black there. I must have pushed it too hard or something. So let's try that again because you know me. I like to make mistakes so you don't have to. All right. So I'll make the mistakes. You learn from my mistakes and then you'll be all good. All right, so let's flip the tape over. I love that the paper has two sides so that if you do make a mistake, you can flip it over. And we'll be putting so much ink on this that it won't even show. Here we go. Let's do this like that. And then this one like that. And let's ink this back up again. Woo! All right, got it on me. Luckily not on my clothes. And you know what? I think I'm going to tape this paper down. The glass mat is really slick. So I think we're going to tape this paper down so that it isn't moving all over the place when we are doing things. All right, there we go. We're going to tape it all down. Everything's taped. All right. So I don't need to push too hard because that's what gave it those black bulges, I guess you could call them. And we're going to go straight down, just smooth. Not so, see it when I pushed hard, it made it have those fat edges. All right. Oh, what is up with that? I don't like that, but I could cut that out. So I'm not going to worry about it. We're going to keep moving on. All right. Because I didn't push hard there. So that must have had some extra ink. All right. So we're going to start with number 1. And we want to line it up with our flowers. There we go. We want to line it up like that. And we're going to use some tape. And once we tape it down, then we're going to use our pen or pencil to mark it so we know that's where we put them all. All right, so I'm going to do this one. No, I like to do it in the middle so I can mark my corners. There we go. And the painter's tape, you can use washi tape, you can use Post-it tape, whatever you're most comfortable with. This is what I happen to have the most of, so this is what I like to use. All right, so here we go. So now what you want to do, and I'm going to take pen, Now you want to mark your corners. All right, and your little ridge. That's what that little ridge is for right there. Let me zoom in for you. Oh, there we go. Oop, wrong way. There you go. So that's what this little ridge is for. And then I like to do all my corners because it helps me make sure that I have everything where I want it and that I get it there the same way each time. All right, so I've got all my corners. Since I've got some white here, I'm just going to do this. And that just helps me know that that's where it goes, because all your masks will go in the exact same spot. Because if they're not in the same spot, then your colors are going to be off and definitely outside of these lines. If you don't have the lines, then they'll just be off and it'll look like you just miscolored it. All right, so now what we're going to do, these are the roses. I'm going to try something a little different, and I'm going to do a couple different colors. And what I did, because the next one is going to be a little darker and then a little darker, I'm going to go real light. And I chose Poppy Parade and Real Red, Petal Pink and Calypso Coral, and then Strawberry Slush and Flirty Flamingo. So I'm going to use all the lighter colors first. Hold on. I've been still trying to figure out these colors. I think I'm going to go with the Petal Pink as my lighter color. And let me look at my pinks here. All right, I want to make sure I got as much of the color off of it as possible. So I'm over here on the side. Let's zoom you back out just a smidget. Here we go. All right, and then can't see the whole thing. Here we go. All right, so I'm going to tap and really like get a bunch of color in there. Tap. And then I'm going to go really light over these flowers. All right, so it's just a real light color. And this is just over the roses. So their anniversary is in October, so I've got time. I just thought it would be pretty to work on it. And then it's done and I don't have to worry about forgetting. So I'm gonna just do, and I was just asking her what color roses she liked the best. And she just likes them all. So I thought I'm gonna try some different colors. Okay, so now we have just a real light base for that. That's the Petal Pink. I know, Missy, are you surprised that I'm using Petal Pink? I'm surprised myself. I'm going to go with these flowers. Let's see. I'm going to go with a light Poppy Parade with these flowers. They're smaller, so I'm going to use one of my smaller brushes, making sure my color is out of it. All right, and then kind of saturate it first. All right, that's pretty dark. And then kind of go over these just real lightly. Real lightly in here. I'm making sure that I'm not touching my roses. These are little buds, so I'm doing the little buds in the Poppy Parade. All right. Here we go. All right. And then, so just so I don't mix up my brushes, I'm going to put my brushes with them. All right. So that's it for number one. So now we're going to take these off. And what you can do, and I don't have water nearby, what you can do is just run these through the water and the ink just comes right off. And then dry them with some paper towel. That's what I use. Or if I have a whole bunch of them and I'm doing it multiple times, then I get out a dish towel and then I just dry it with that and then later throw it in the laundry. It's water-based ink, so it doesn't stain permanently. All right, so now I need number 2. I want to make sure to lay it where all my lines are. All right, you want to make sure to lay it where all your lines are. And you don't want to have big old gaps so that you know you're in the right spot. All right, so now we're doing some more layers. So now what I'm going to do, I may not use those. I'm going to go with the Calypso Coral. All right. So here we go, making sure I get all that other color off, and then I want to kind of saturate this one pretty good so that that's the color that I'm getting. All right, here we go. Now we're going to go just over the roses. Like this. There we go. Putting a little more color on. I'm not pushing real hard. I don't want it to be super saturated. I just want to be able to have the different colors showing. All right, so here we go. All right. And then with the, oh, hold on. Why is that not? That one's tough. I don't use the Calypso Coral very much, so I can see why that is that way. And then I'm going to use, I think, ooh, how many more details are we doing on here? We're going even darker with this one. Oh, that up here is going to be the center, so I need to get some yellow for that, because I do like to have yellow on my little flower centers. So I think I'm going to use some of the real red, but just not go too dark on those Poppy Parade ones. Let's see, do I have a red? Kind of. It's time for me to wash these. It's really time for me to wash these. It's hard to tell what color they are. All right, so I'm going to go a little darker, the darker red here. Making sure not to get on my roses. All right. So a little bit redder. We use the Poppy Parade as our first one. All right, now we're going to take this and we're going to take off this one. So then we're going to move this back. There we go. So we're just doing all the different layers. So there's 3 different layers for the flowers, and then we'll be doing the leaves. So decided to go kind of with the orangey flowers. Let's see how it's looking. Ooh, look how pretty. I'm liking that. All right, so here we go. Number 3. Again, we're going to lay it in here so it lines up completely. Tack it down. There we go. And then we're going to go another shade darker. Ooh. What color am I going to go darker with? Let's see, I had the Petal Pink, the Calypso Coral. Wonder if I could go darker with that or maybe go with the real red. Any suggestions? Oh, you know what might work good? It's the Cajun Craze. That would be our next level of an orangey red. So, ooh, here we go. Here's one. Whew, yeah. All right, here we go. We'll see how it looks. We can always change it, right? We can always do another one. So never be worried about playing and seeing what color combinations look good together. All right, always check it out. If you get an inspiration and you get an idea and you're like, ooh, I want to see what that looks like, play with it. Grab scratch paper. You don't even have to grab the full-on cardstock, just grab scratch paper. All right, so there's that center. I think that's going to be really pretty, actually. And then I'm going to go with the, and I don't have another little one, so here I'm going to have to dip this in. And I want to get that in that center of those flowers. So I'm going to just dip those right in there. And it's just the center of the flowers. So just making sure I don't get it on my roses, remember. All right, so the flowers are done. Are you ready to take a peek? Ready to peek? Let's see how the flowers look. Because it's going to be October, so that's why I was thinking, you know what? If I go with the orangey flavors, that's kind of cool. That's different. Let's see how the orange roses with the Poppy Parade and red flowers looks. All right, are you ready? Oh, those look so great. I love it. Oh, and I'm not even going to be able to show her today what I did because it's for her. All right, so here's the next one. So now it's going to cover up the flowers and we're just focusing in on the leaves, but we still want to put it in the exact same spot we had it. See, so that we can see those leaves. All right, so make sure everything's in the same spot. All our flowers are covered so they're protected. No oopsies. It's just the green. So with the green, where's my greens? I went with the soft seafoam and the old olive. So the first one is going to be the soft seafoam, which is not a color I use very frequently. Here we go. As a matter of fact, it's really rare that I use it. So that's why I thought, you know what? I think the soft seafoam, ooh, that's got a lot of green on it. The soft seafoam and the old olive will go really well together. If I had Pear Pizzazz, like we used to have, that one would have been a great lighter color. But we'll just go with this. I think it's going to work good. All right, let's see. Whew, some of these may need to be, I might need to do a movie day and re-ink. Ready? So we're going to go lightly over all the leaves. This is darker than I was thinking it was going to be. So that's kind of cool. It's not as dark as the old olive. And it might be picking up some of the green that was on my brush, which is okay. It's not the end of the world. I think it's still going to look good either way. Ooh, that's in the right spot. All right, here we go. There's only 2 stencils or masks for the leaves. What do you call it? Do you call it stencil or you call it mask? Stampin' Up! Has a way of using different terms sometime. All right, so that already looks pretty right there. But let's check it out and then let's do the last one, which gives it that extra shading and detail. So we're going with a darker color, green, so I'm just going to use that same brush because I kind of do mine instead of having one brush for each color because I don't have the space for that and I don't use all my colors for this. I just have yellows, reds, pinks, purples, greens, blues, stuff like that. Oh, look how gorgeous that looks. All right, so now we're going to set this down. Remember, lining it all up. That's the big the big key here is lining it all up like that, and then making sure you stick it back down with our tape. Notice all I do is peel it back, put it in. Then we're going to go with the Old Olive. All right, so you can see how much darker it is. All right, it's a lot darker. So I'm just making sure I get it all good and saturated so I get that. And, oops, I forgot to put my phone on Do Not Disturb. All right. So gorgeous, isn't it? I'm really liking the colors. I'm glad I went with the orange tones. It'll be really pretty for October when their anniversary is. So we'll finish this card next week. Today we're doing the technique. Next week we'll choose the papers and the fold and put it all together. All right. So this will be a two-parter. So good thing my mother is not on Facebook and doesn't watch my YouTube channel because she would see this card. All right, I'd be in trouble. I wouldn't be able to do it for you. So, but even if she were to see it, she wouldn't get the card until October, so she wouldn't see it in person, so then it wouldn't be quite as bad. But she is not a Facebook person. Are you ready to see the final look? Oh my goodness. Woo! All right, let's see. So I'll be die cutting this. Look at that. Isn't that gorgeous? Let me pick that up so you can see it. All right, so this is the masking technique. You're going to use paper, and you want to use a piece of paper that's larger than what you're coloring. I like to use it a little bit larger and kind of like the size of my masks, just so I make sure I've got plenty of room. Make sure you draw your corners down. All right, draw your corners so that you don't, so you get them in the same spot. It's a lot easier when you have all four corners and the side lines. I would draw the whole thing if I could, but with the tape you can't. So I draw as much of it as I can to help make sure that I got it. Isn't that beautiful? I love that. That looks blurry to me. Does that look blurry to you? There we go. I love it. I love the shading. So the shading for the roses was Petal Pink, Calypso Coral, and Cajun Craze. All right, so there are your three colors for the roses that I used. Then for these red flowers, I like that, how that came out as well. That was Poppy Parade, Real Red, and then the centers are Crushed Curry. All right, so not necessarily colors I would always think to put together. And then the leaves are Soft Seafoam and Old Olive. And I think they came out really beautiful. I love it. I love it. So you can see here, it's a little bit off. So when I put that mask on, it was just a little bit off. You can see it's not quite centered here. But most of the times, your people that receive your gifts, your cards, are not going to be as critical as you are on it. So don't worry about that. Overall, I am tickled pink with this. Let me go quickly die cut it for you so you can see what it looks like die cut. Here we go. Let's move this out of the way. I think I might, let's see. So the die is going to go like this. Let me get that where you can see it. Die is going to go like this. And I'm going to use a little bit of this tape to hold it down because it's so big. Oh, how wide is my paper? Okay, it's under 6 inches. You can only go 6 inches wide, so I had to make sure it wasn't too wide. So let's, because you don't want to do all this work and then mess it up with die cutting wrong. So you want to make sure to have it. And I don't put the tape over on this side because it might pull it up. So I put the tape around the outside edges because I don't care if it tears up this side, but I don't want it tearing up my hard work and coloring. So I'm just putting it in a bunch of different places to help make sure that it stays put. Because that would not be very nice if I messed it up. So there we go. Let me go cut it out. All right, here we go. All right, so I ran it through the cut and emboss machine. Now I'm going to take off. Take off. There we go. There we go. Oh, perfect. I love it. I love, 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 love it. So now we're just going to wait, and next week we will put it on a card. It'll be a fun fold card, a new fun fold card for you, and then we will finish out their anniversary card, and then I've got it done in advance. Yay me. So then so next week, next Thursday, we'll finish up the this anniversary card, the 60th anniversary card. But oh, don't you think it turned out so pretty? Oh my gosh, I love it. Right, Missy? Sam's wife loves yellow roses. You may need to get this set. Yeah, you may need to, because it's really pretty. I thought about doing yellow, and then I thought, you know, I think I'm going to go with the orange because it'll be October. So I think it'll be cool, and it's such a different color. It's such a different color. I love it. Woo! I'm so excited that it came out so well, because I wasn't sure. You know, I don't use Petal Pink. Where are they? Petal Pink, Calypso Coral, and Cajun Craze. This is not a color palette that I tend to choose. So I really like that it came out and looks so beautiful. So we will finish up the card next week with a fun fold, and then I'll have it all ready to go until October. All I have to do is put it in my drawer. So yay! All right, so thank you so much for joining me today for Thunderstruck Thursday. I trust you give masking a try. Remember, there's 3 different masks in the online store. One is only $6.25, and it is on the last chance list. And that was called, let me see, that was called Enduring Beauty Decorative Masks. And they go with, I'm not sure what stamp set. I don't think we have the stamp set anymore. So you can use them completely alone. You can use them completely alone. Let's see. Yeah, it doesn't say which stamp set it went with. If you really wanted to know, message me. I can find out. Not a problem. Thankful Garden Decorative Masks goes with Lovely Garden Sweet Collection. So that is a sweet collection, which means it's a buy one, get 50% off the second one. So if you really like the sweet, you could get that sweet and get a second sweet for 50% off. Whichever is the lower price sweet will be the 50% off one. So that's an idea. Those masks are really beautiful. And then, of course, the Layers of Beauty, which is not part of a suite. It is just part of a bundle. So you can get the Layers of Beauty bundle, where you will get the stamp set, the masks, and the dies all together for the 10% off. All right, so you'd want to get that instead. of just getting the masks, and that's $56.50, but that is a bundle. That is not a suite. It is not part of a suite. There's no DSP that coordinates with it. All right, so that's the difference between a suite and just a bundle. A suite means you have paper, ribbon or gems masks or embossing folders, sometimes all of them. It's when it's everything that coordinates together: the paper, the gems, the embellishments, the dies, the stamp set, the embossing folders, the masks, everything. When it's all in one suite, that is a suite. When you pull out the stamp set with the dies, that's a bundle. Or the stamp set with the dies and the embossing folder, that's a bundle. So that you already get 10% off when you order those things together. If you order it another one from a different suite, you get 50% off the one that is the lower price. So if that's confusing, I've explained it a few different times, but I know it can be really confusing. The computer will do it for you. You might be placing smaller orders. I had a customer yesterday, she wanted 2 suites. So one order was the 2 suites with one being 50% off. Her next order was some other items, and then she had the shipping for that, and I don't even remember if she had something from the sale on there or not. But you would not want to put, if you buy a whole suite, you want those 2 things on the order, and that's it. Unless you're buying 4 suites, then you want all 4. You don't want to have any other little lower priced items on there, because those would be the 50% off items. So make sure you're looking to see what is your best advantage of getting the best bang for your buck. All right, so if you have any questions though, please feel free to reach out to me. I am always happy to answer your questions. I'll talk on the phone, I'll text you, I'll Zoom with you, whatever it is you need to help understand how this works out. It is only until the end of June, so only another week and a half. What's today? Today's Thursday, so about a week and a half left. The 30th will be the last day. I have an unboxing that I'm going to do here shortly with a bunch of items from the suite sale. So we'll talk again about that. So let me get this all cleaned up, and then I'll be back for a live unboxing. We'll say, let's see, it's 2:11. We'll say at 2:30, I'll be back here with a live unboxing so you can see how I ordered suite things to get the best bang for my buck. All right, so have a great, 20 minutes or so. I'll see you back here in 20 minutes. If you can't make it, catch the replay, and then I will see you next week. All right, I'll see you in a little bit. Bye-bye.